Vivian, what's going on? Welcome to the podcast. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you, Jonathan?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to have you. I've seen you take over my Facebook news feed the last few months. I feel like I know you, but this is the first, actually, no, this is the second time we're actually meeting. We met at a real estate meetup that you were speaking at a couple weeks ago in Miami. So it's great to get some time here to chat, catch up, and hear what you have going on. For those that don't know or haven't seen your stuff everywhere like I have, you mind just giving our audience a quick background on who you are, what you've been up to, what you're excited about in 2026, those sorts of things?
Sure, I'll point out the obvious first. The elephant in the room is, why is she bald? The short answer is I actually lost my hair from burnout. So I used to work at Apple. I worked there for 7 years, and prior to that, I was in corporate my whole life, working in supply chain and operations and demand planning, inventory control, supply chain management, all the above. And it came to a point where I got burnout. It was during the pandemic. And I thought, you know what? I am doing really well investing in real estate part time. What if I quit my job and did real estate full time and just cancel this job? But I need a paycheck. I've got kids to feed, I've got a house to pay for. So I started strategizing a plan. And this is before I lost my hair. I started strategizing a plan on how to replace my income, or at least how do I build an income that can support my basic needs. And that's when I started into doing short-term rentals, which I had one after flipping a bunch of houses. And then the pandemic hit, put a complete stop in my plans there because Airbnb was canceling reservations for people during the pandemic, and hosts were left high and dry with mortgage payments and no bookings. And that's when I made the decision. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try a different strategy. Let's try this 30-day model and see what happens. And at that time, no one was really talking about it. People were hearing about travel nurses and whatnot, but I had a three-bedroom house. I wasn't sure if travel nurses were traveling as families or if they travel as pairs or if I could rent by the room. There's so many different things I didn't know about, but I ended up getting a family that booked for 3 months. They were building a house nearby. And then I got a booking for a 7 months for a construction team. And I was like, whoa, in 11 months, I have two guests. I'm more than doubling long term rent. If I can multiply this model, I can create a paycheck. So I started doing that over time. And then when I lost my hair, I was like, okay, it's time to pivot. Like Malcolm Gladwell says, there's like a tipping point. That was my tipping point.
Mm, love that. And
So
maybe you
here
can
I am
just,
now.
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So I said, so here I am now. I live and breathe the midterm rental strategy. I live off of my rental income. I'm a broke millionaire, as one of my friends calls it. Like we have all of our money in equity. So, I make money through the cash flow of my properties and building a business today.
I love it. And just for, I guess, context up to today, where is the business at today and kind of how do you spend your time in the business?
So I manage about 25 properties with my property management company, and I've built a brand and a system for that. So it really only takes about 10% of my time. So that's really great. And I teach people how to do that as well. It's whether they have three properties or 25 properties. A lot of people have problems with systems. So I have a master's degree in operations, and I just think systems wise, which helps people think through their business. Um, so that's only about 10%. Most of my time is spent on building Crew Homes. So Crew Homes stands for Corporate Rentals USA. That was actually the name we started with. But after picking up the phone, answering Corporate Rentals USA, how can I help you? I was like, that is not making me happy. So that simple problem, I shortened it into Crew Homes. And so now it's Crew Homes, how can I help you? Much better. So I spent a lot of time building Crew Homes. What does building Crew Homes looks like? It means that I am onboarding Airbnb owners into my platform, and at the same time building relationships with insurance relocation companies and the people that use midterm rental housing, and trying to build that demand so that we can match supply. And really, it's a numbers game because with midterm rentals, most people don't know they need a midterm rental until very last minute.
Mm, right. It's like disasters or emergencies or just unexpected things typically.
Yeah, even relocation, remodeling, even if someone's
Mm,
remodeling and they had plans, they might not know when they're going to move out until very last minute because their contractor's delaying their decisions or not giving them answers. I mean, my lead time on midterm rentals are between 5.6 days and sometimes as close as 2.1 days to move in time.
wow, that's insane. So it's really tight turnarounds. So sort of desperation for a lot of people, and that's
It
really
is.
cool that you could help people like that. So with Crew Homes, it's like a marketplace that you're building, or
It's
is
a
it a
private
networking
B2B
platform?
platform.
Oh, okay, got it. So
Yeah.
owners will go on there and they'll see inventory, and it's sort of inventory that you have through relationships or stuff that you've handpicked. Is that kind of how it works?
I wouldn't say I handpicked them, but I would say that I've curated a culture of what kind of properties go on board. When you go to crewhomes.com, you're going to see beautiful single family homes. Most of them are pet friendly. They have really great quality. So we're not, by the room rentals. We're not ADUs. We're not basement apartments. That's not. There's another platform for that. We're more single family home. And that's not to say we don't have apartments and condos. We have those too because those kinds of homeowners are impacted as well. But for the most part, 95% of our inventory is single family homes.
Cool. I'm on the site now. It's really well done. There's a lot of inventory, it seems, and a lot of properties. So I guess just from the business standpoint, is the model that you make money on the introduction, you make money when they book, just as like a referral fee from the person or from the platform? I know nothing about this, but this is really cool.
So that's a really good question because I've tried multiple models. It's been about 2 years now since I started doing this. And when you get burned by unethical people, you change your model. So I used to do a commission fee, I used to do a membership fee, I used to do like an introduction fee. And at the end of the day, when you don't control the relationship, people will take advantage of you.
Hmm.
So the model is number one, we don't work B2C. There's Airbnb for that, there's Furnish Finder for that, there's Verbo for that. So we're not having you put your property on our platform and we're not just bringing in Joe Smith from the street to rent your property. I don't I don't want that business. I'm not in the business of replacing Airbnb.
Mm,
So basically, when you come on our platform and we have an opportunity to secure a vetted client into your home, we're going to continue that relationship with our corporate client and we're going to bring their vetted client into your property and at which then we sublease the property from you.
got it. Okay.
And this is a very, very typical model in the relocation space and in the corporate housing space, actually.
And then I guess is there just a spread on what it's rented for and then what you're listing for? Is that sum it up typically?
Well, there is a spread. There's no formula for it. It really depends on what the need is, the length of stay, how many people. Every contract is negotiated before you move in. Anybody that puts their property on our platform, they're not obligated to take whatever we offer. They can say yes or no.
Mm,
There's no instant booking that happens. Everything is kind of white glove service through. So that's how we work. But the advantage is we have visibility into everyone's calendars. So Jonathan, if your property somehow matches with a need that we have, but you have
mhm.
a booking on, three weeks out for a weekend, and that's your only booking, suddenly you're not visible in any of the platforms, but I see that Jonathan's house match. I'm going to look at your calendar and say, Jonathan, I've got a 6 month booking for you, but you have a 3 weeks out. Can you accommodate?
Mm, got it.
And you're probably thinking, I would love that.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm
So
waiting for.
yeah, so we'll work with you to figure that out.
And I'm just curious because I'm pretty operationally minded as well. So with that, is that something that you feel it's a personal touch thing, it's a white glove touch thing that's where is it best use of your time, or can you still build SOPs around that, that you have people on your team and automations that'll handle the parts of that, the communication, the connecting, the back end, the fulfillment? Like, what's your role in that versus what do you see being able to automate or outsource?
So, you know, everyone's talking about agents and automations and stuff.
Yeah.
I built that in my business 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So I was already ahead of the game. However, as you know, businesses evolve, and as you evolve, you have to change what your agents or what your automations are doing. While it's easy to change those, you have to practice and implement a new process for a while first before you ensure that it becomes an SOP. So we're kind of in that changing space right now where we feel like we've got a momentum in a process that seems to work every single time. Because you know, in this business, because everyone's so different, there's always exceptions. So we have to build loose SOPs, but have to have agility.
Hmm. For sure.
So we're currently in the process of. I finally found someone that I can have my team full time that is working all the automations for me and ensuring that they're testing and working properly.
And what do you see as your best use of time in that business? Is it communication? Is it making contacts with insurance companies, with different agencies, or is it more managing your team? Like, how do you think about that?
I wear all the hats,
Okay.
which is I try not to drown in the everyday work, but it's hard not to when you're an entrepreneur because you built this from the ground up and you know how everything works. Like the
Right.
website you're probably looking at right now, I built that. If, you know, with the help of some people, but it's the vision is all mine and how everything works in the business model. So yeah, I'm calling people to make those relationships. I'm managing my team. I'm the visionary behind everything. But you know, ops background. When you're an ops background, you're also an integrator,
Yeah.
which
Right.
I'm sure you know. So I wear all the hats, and probably why I'm still bald, maybe.
I gotcha. Yeah, it's tough, right? That handoff versus quality control versus, making it perfect how we want it versus 80% of something is better than 0% of something, right?
Correct. I'm learning to let go.
Yeah, it's hard. It's definitely really hard. We jumped right into it, but usually I ask at the beginning, what does your team look like today? Who helps you with different things? And then I usually like to talk about hiring and team building, but what does your team and help look like today?
So I was always very lean. I started with like 3 people, and I was like, these 3 people are so inefficient. That's when I started building the automations. So
Mm,
once I built the automations, which cost me a pretty penny, I was able to only have one person assisting me in doing the admin work, which comes that's involved with calling people, sending emails, and things like that. Just the human touch of things. Then there's me. I have my automation person. I have a social media person that helps me with my branding and just getting the word out about
hmm.
the passion of midterm rentals. And then on my property management side, I have my business partner, I have a boots on the ground person, and then I have 2 virtual assistants.
Got it. And what could you give us an overview on what systems you use to manage everything? If it's Notion, Asana, just your tool stack?
Tool stack. Ooh, how do we go there? Okay, so the foundation is I have two. I have both Slack and Monday.com.
Okay.
I use Panadoc to sign contracts. I use Calendly to schedule calls. I use obviously all the Google suites. Um, what else? I use Make.com.
What's that? What's make.com?
So everyone talks about Zapier. You
Oh,
can use
got it. Yeah.
Zapier. Make.com happens to be a better automation tool.
Hmm.
Um, what else do I use? I mean, there's so many.
I'm sure AI. I know you talked about the panel, but I'm sure your agents and a lot of AI tools as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I use Journey as my property management system, and Journey's really new. They've only been around for maybe 4 years.
We
So,
interviewed them. I definitely want to talk about that too.
okay. Well, I've been on them for 2 years, and I honestly love that they function fast, right? They're really ahead of technology, and we've been able to grow with them, alongside with them, and it's been great. When you talk to someone in short-term rentals and you tell them you do midterm rentals, the first thing they say is, "Oh, then you have to deal with tenancy," right? But here's the thing: the moment you give them your keys, you're still dealing with tenancy.
Mm,
So I was always thinking from the forefront, how do I ensure that I'm putting guardrails around my business? So with Journey, I'm able to sign lease agree or rental agreements with every guest. We do ID upload with every guest. Every guest sends me a selfie. Then the AI tool kicks in to make sure that the selfie matches the government ID. The government ID matches the reservation to make sure it's the same person. And then they also leave a credit card as a deposit hold. And then they get a flag whether or not they're allowed in my property.
wow, that's cool. I don't think we've ever had anyone on that uses Journey. We talked to them. It seemed a little early. This could have been like 3 years ago, but it seemed really cool and innovative, and it seemed like they shipped new features really fast. It's just a big change that, yeah, sometimes it's easy to drag your feet on, but that's really cool. It sounds like you have a good experience overall with that software. What were you using before?
I used Hospitable to begin with, and this is like 5 years ago. I
Okay.
know they've evolved, but it didn't grow with me. Once I hit like 4 properties, I was like, this is not what I need. At that time, it was a different product, right? And then I switched over to OwnerRez, which OwnerRez is really powerful, but their UX is so dinosaur. I
Mm,
also had a really hard time training someone how to use it because of all the nuances that it has. I needed something that had easier UX and easier workflow for a $6 an hour virtual assistant to understand.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's tough. It sounds like you found that with Journey.
What do you
Just
use?
we use Hospitable.
Okay.
Yeah. Can't say we love it or hate it. It's just what it is. It works. I'd say we have it built out pretty well at this point. We have someone that is in house full time that manages it, and I'd say has become more of an expert on that and price labs and getting as much out of it as we can. But I think we were looking at Journey mainly for the AI capability. Like we're looking now again at HostBuddy or some of the tools just for messaging. Because like for me, I'm always thinking like, how do we elevate everyone on the team? I mean, at this point, I think we have like over 20 people. So it's
Wow.
like, how do we, I always want to try to give them sort of promotion paths or upgrade paths. And I feel like right now, the girl that works on that, she's awesome, but it's administrative work typically, being super responsive, and I want her more like critically thinking, strategic, revenue management, design improvements, those sorts of things. So I think for us, maybe we check out Journey. I think they had the thing that drew me in was really good AI responses and just like, they could have pending responses, but then also send them automatically. So I'm curious, do you use that or have you messed around with that much?
Yeah, so that's something that's on our roadmap to implement this year for the property management company because I hired someone that worked at Journey and he was like, I don't trust Nia yet. I was like, okay.
And
So now
Mia is the AI agent in Journey.
yes.
Got
And now we've been testing it semi-autonomously and it seems to do really well. So it's our goal to be able to run that almost fully autonomous if we can.
it.
So the beauty about Journey, which I really like, is that when you're using Hospitable, I think they're trying to do like an all-in-one kind of program now where everything's included.
Mm.
But Hospitable, from what I understand, they're developing their own tech, their own kind of price labs, their own kind of host buddy, their own kind of these things, right? Is that correct? Like their own privately developed
Yeah, I think
things?
they are. How good they are, who knows? But yeah, they
That's the
have
thing.
AI now built in. They have pricing features built in. Yeah,
So what I like about Journey is that they're not trying to be jack of all trades,
right. I
right?
remember that.
Their central PMS system is their tech, and the AI is their tech. However, they've partnered with Price Labs, Wheelhouse, AutoHost, Turno, Breezeway,
Yep.
Scene. So they're not trying to be all those things, Rather, they want to focus on being the specialist in what their core competency is, and then partner with the things that do the best. Because you can't be an expert at Bluetooth locks and an expert in pricing strategies. That's just impossible.
True.
So I really like Journey's approach is that they own the center of the universe in your business, but then
Hmm.
everything else is kind of distributed as to the experts.
Yeah, no, that's really good. I like that. I never heard it explained that way, but I do remember seeing that in the demo that they connect into all those tools and they bridge the gap instead of trying to replace them. But
Yeah.
I do go back and forth. I'm curious what your journey has been with it because you see different opinions on it. You see people like Bill Faith saying like he'll never outsource guest messaging. I think he still does guest messaging like himself. He doesn't even have a team member do it. And then you have other people that are like, we're fully on Host Buddy, we love it. And then you have people in the middle. Of course, it's personal preference, and everyone will have their own different vibe on it. But I guess where do you stand on that?
I love hearing from guests when the messages are good. I mean, they're almost always good, right? But like, oh, the trash wasn't picked up. I'm like, oh, I don't want to deal with this, you know? I like seeing all the messages because it gives me a pulse on the business, but I don't like being having to respond to everything. You know,
Mm,
like you probably feel the same way as I do. You get decision fatigue. Every day it's multiple micro decisions,
mm-hmm.
whether it's the trash didn't get picked up or whether someone can't get the door open or someone locked themselves, whatever it is, you're so inundated by all these micro decisions. You're like, somebody just take these useless things out of my way and let me focus on the bigger things, just like you want with your VAs.
Yeah,
You want to take away the small stuff and be able to focus on strategic.
yeah,
So
for
that's
sure.
how I see it is you leverage AI to learn your business and so you can focus on the bigger things.
Yeah, no, that's really true. It's a constant battle, but yeah, I guess on that note, you just made me think of something. Um, do you guys have anything in place, being that you're managing 25 units, like improvement protocols of okay, if we get guest feedback, how do we handle it, or how do we decide if it's worth doing? Like this is something that we think about a lot. If we get feedback once, all right, are we going to do an improvement on it or adjustment versus like, okay, this is something that we've heard repetitively, or this is something we see our competition doing. So, like, we have a practice that we use just weekly. We'll kind of review all guest feedback and then make decisions on it. But I'm always curious. It seems like everyone has a little bit of a different process on that.
Yeah.
So, if there's a way that you think about improving your processes or improving the properties, just how you go about making those decisions.
So that's my mind all day, every day, right? I'm a innovation person and I won awards at Apple for continuous innovation because that's just my mind is always thinking, how can we do this better?
Mm,
But if you're constantly trying to churn different ideas all the time, it could be really disruptive to the company as well. So I try to think of it like number one, can it be solved with money? Is the problem solvable with money? Number two, um, is it going to give us a competitive advantage?
mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so problems that you can't solve with money, road noise, bad neighbors, things like that, you can't control that, but you can offer a better guest experience by maybe just surprising and delighting them with water bottles or snacks or warm baked cookies delivered, which we do. The second thing is gosh, what was I saying on the second thing? The second thing was oh, competitive advantage. So recently, I was thinking like, how do we grow this company in a strategic way? And I work in the insurance space, right? So I'm hearing what those requests are all the time. Walk-in showers. They want single-story homes. They want extra wide doors. And how many of those times have I see those requests, and how often can I accommodate? And I can't always accommodate ramps because none of my properties have ramps, and that's way
Mm,
too expensive to put in. A lot of our properties have walk-in showers, which is great, but the ones that don't have walk-in showers, am I going to go and make a walk-in shower? No, because that's also really high expense. But the one thing that we do get time and time again, and I'm going to drop a gem right here, is handlebars for showering or getting off the toilet.
Hmm.
That one's so simple. It's a small 16, $17 16-inch handlebar you can buy on Amazon. Just having that grab bar and the grab bar for the toilet, it's an amenity that you can search for. And if you think about the number of people that are aging 60 every single day, 10,000 Americans are aging every single day to 60. And just having these small little improvements can help you with searchability. Those might be opportunities you've missed out on because you're not having those amenities. And
Yeah.
you'll never know.
That's really cool. Is that from guest feedback that you've gotten that or research? Like,
Just
I
going
would have
through the
never guessed that.
filters. Just going through the filters. So actually, I was on a call yesterday with an old former coworker of mine, and he's in his late 60s. And I was helping him find, we just catching up, and I was helping him find a rental property to reserve in April in Galveston. And he's partially in a wheelchair. So he's like, I can't do stairs. And if you know Galveston, most of the properties are on these stilts. I was
Mm,
like, man, we might have a hard time, Lauren, but let's see what we can find. So I start searching for properties with accommodations. And by the time we got to a ramp and to a wide doors and shower bars, there was one property. And Galveston is one of the most saturated markets in Texas.
wow, that's insane. That's a competitive advantage right there. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, cool. Um, Jumping around here a little bit, just tying off on teams, because I feel like people are usually interested in that and scale and ops, especially with someone that has your ops type of mind. Where do you typically find your team members? I actually think I saw you maybe reply on a post this morning, maybe to Tyler, about where you found your team, where they're located. Like for us, that's as like, CEO, whatever you want to call a business owner. Like for me, I'm obsessed with trying to find talent and we're hiring, maybe three people a month. So it's like, where do we find them? So I'm always curious to hear in our audiences too. What have you found as far as favorite places to hire people from or any tricks around hiring or bringing people on? And are your people virtual? Are they in the US? Do you ever meet any of them in person? Those sorts of things.
Yeah. I think about this a lot because you as a small business owner know how disruptive it is when you've spent all the time training someone and then it's almost like you're jaded after you have to fire them. You're like, oh my god, I just spent 6 weeks with them and now I have to do this all over again. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that I haven't struggled through that and I don't struggle through that now, but I'm getting better at it. I'm a true believer that good people know good people. So the good ones that I hire, the ones that I keep, I ask them who else is looking for a job.
Great reminder.
Yeah. And then when I interview them, one thing that I've learned is that athletes are phenomenal people to work with. So I might not look it now, but I played a lot of volleyball back in my day. And I played in a women's Chinese league in Canada competitively. So the thing with hiring an athlete is they show up.
Mm,
If they're having a bad day, they show up because they know the value of teammates. They do the work because they have the discipline. Just like when you're not playing the sport, you still go work out because you need to have that discipline to have that fitness. You are coachable. You show up on time. You anticipate. To me, anticipation is a huge one.
I
Because
love
if
that.
you're playing volleyball and someone's going up for a hit, you're looking at their belly button, seeing which way it's facing, so you can go and block them, you can go defend them, and just being ahead of the next person's step is so important because that's how you maneuver your business.
I love
So
that.
it's getting better and better over time, and I really think number one, try and find someone that's in that circle with someone that you've already hired, and number two, when you're screening with them, find someone that is an athlete, and number two, like has a love for learning.
I love that.
My assistant right now, she's amazing. Like she was not working for a while, so she went and got herself like four different certificates. I was like, brilliant. Who told you to do it? Nobody. I just had time in my hands. I'm like, good. You weren't on TikTok all day. You went and got some education, you know? So
That's really cool.
someone that loves learning because I can't be there to answer every question.
Yeah,
So
for
if
sure.
someone can figure it out is like a game changer for me.
Yeah, it's so true. And just to tie off on that, is it mostly the global team? Is it people that you work with in person? Or are they in the US? Um, yeah.
It's a global team. Yeah,
Okay.
I have one from Zimbabwe, one from South Africa, one from the Philippines, and one from Bolivia.
You really do have an international team.
I do.
And just on those, did you find them from one specific place, or they were referrals or agency, anything like that?
So I used to use an agency that's very well known, and there's nothing wrong with what they were doing.
Hmm.
However, the person that I hired stayed with me for about a year and a half, and then I asked, "Do you have any friends that are looking for a job?" And that's when he was like, "Yeah, I do." So then I brought that Bolivian in, and then with the South African, I don't even remember how this person came across my desk. Um, it was a while ago now, and then she was able to introduce her friend, and then her friend introduced another one. So I was like, okay, that works great.
That's going to be my takeaway from that. It's something that it's like hiding right in front of us usually, and we're, oh, how do I find the next person? But good people know good people. It's like contractors and cleaners and realtors and like
Exactly.
anything.
And they don't want to refer out to people that they're going to be ashamed of, right? They want to refer people that's going to make them look good. That's just human nature.
That's so true. Great point. A couple of questions just to wind down here, but one I just definitely want to ask, being that you're operational minded and thinking about systems and improvement all the time, is there anything right now specific tech wise, systems wise, process improvement wise that you've been thinking about or implemented lately that you're excited about, want to maybe brag about or tell us about that is just top of mind to you?
Oh man, I've been playing around with a lot of like AI tools, generative AI, so that I can build commercials and PR pieces, things like that. Just learning. I have to learn something myself before I give it out to someone else to do because I'd like to be intelligent enough to question whether or not something could be done better or something could be done cheaper or whatever it is. It's just probably a downside of me or an upside, however you want to see it. So I'm really, really into learning a lot of AI tools right now and learning how to build agents in the business to do more things. So Agentics is a huge part of my personal learning roadmap this year, and so that when I can learn it, I can also teach that to my students as well.
Got it. That's cool.
Yeah, like one of
Um,
the big things was learning how to build a website in 3 minutes. So in my coaching program, we went through the cycle of how do you build a fully developed website in 3 minutes, and we did that.
that's amazing. You mind me asking what tool or ways that you do that? You don't have to give away everything, but
You can
that's
join
a
my
good hook.
training.
What's that?
I said you can join my training.
We'll link it.
Um, I mean, there's multiple different ways to do it. There, a lot of these website companies are already doing it. So I mean, that was just one example.
Gotcha.
It was
That's cool.
lovable.
Hubbable. Okay, cool. There's so many tools out there, but I've definitely heard good things about that one. Um, yeah, I feel like I could ask, and just it's awesome getting to know you and just your story. It's really cool. I could see how and why it resonates with people, and just it's fun to hear about. Um, I always like to ask, just like goal oriented type question. Like for you, having like a high level corporate background and systems also, do you look at this business as, okay, I want to get it to a point where we can sell it, or I want to get it to a point where it's doing X number of cash flow a month, and then I'm done. I'm good. I could just go sit on a beach or do whatever is fun outside of work for you, or do you just love doing this and you want to just do it for the game and you don't have a number in mind or a sale in mind? It's just, okay, let's see how big we can get this and enjoy the ride.
It's kind of a combination of all. I enjoy the ride. I'm a
Okay.
journey person. Like it's so funny. I'm literally a person that enjoys the journey, and good or bad, I just love seeing how far I can take things. I think the end goal to answer your question is I would love to sell it, right? I would love to sell it. Um, I want to sell it to someone that can take it bigger than I can.
Mm,
But I would still love to be the face of the business and to be able to help people turn their properties into consistent cash flow. Right? This strategy is so passionate for me because it allowed me to escape my job at my darkest time. And there's a way to do it. There's a right way to do it. There's a wrong way to do it. There's a science the way to do it. So I would always love to be a part of the business and a part of the vision. Um, you may know that a couple years ago I was talking a lot about Hestia. Hestia is the Greek goddess of hospitality, and for a long time I was trying to sell Hestia as the first approach, like be the perfect host and the bookings will come. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. You have to develop the the strategy first, and then you can become the perfect host. And so I've had to switch that model around as well. So now CrewHomes is the platform, and then when we move someone in, we ensure that the property passes all the inspections at which they get the Hestia certification, which shows that they're professional host status. So,
Got it.
um, long story short, it's a little bit of everything. I want to see how far I can take this, but I'm a little bit, to be honest with you, I bootstrap this, right? I'm a little bit worried. I don't have investors. I'm my own investor. I'm sinking my money into this. And it would be awesome if there was someone that could take it even further than I can.
Where do you see it in a couple of years?
I think right now the big barrier in Airbnb and corporate housing is not the insurance space. I feel like anybody can play in the insurance space, but corporate housing, like actual corporate housing, when people relocate families for Google, for Apple, those are very specific types of contracts, and there's a huge distrust
Mm,
because they've had too many clients book an Airbnb and like, oh my God, it looks nothing like the pictures. It's super dirty. The host is crazy, things like that. And there's this big distrust, and that's where Hestia comes in. I want to be able to build Hestia as a brand through building a culture of high quality properties, and then hopefully eventually be able to bring this into corporate housing whereby the investors get to benefit from long stays with high quality guests, and the relocation companies have an inventory type that will make them look good because I mean I relocated twice for my career, and I relocated into a three-bedroom apartment. I came from a 4,000 square foot house and I was put in a 1,200 square foot apartment. I was like, I could this be better? I think so. So if we can break through that barrier of corporate housing in like the higher level corporate housing, I think that would be amazing.
I love that. That's really cool. And before we wind down fully, you also have another business. You have your coaching business. So could you talk about that? What it looks like, how many students you have, and maybe who it's for?
Sure. I think in total, so I have like two programs. I have a sort of a low ticket program, which is self study, and then a 90-minute coaching program with me, a one time group coaching session with me. That's sort of a one and done because that's for people that want to learn at their own pace, or maybe they only have one property or two properties and they're not ready to grow. In my 6 month coaching program, I actually coach people through building an actual business. So I would say if you have three properties and you're trying to grow to more and you want to automate from end to end, you don't want to worry about, you know, bad guests. You want to turn on instant book without partiers. You want to be able to sign leases without squatters. I mean, you want to be able to how to answer insurance housing requests, how to deal with specific problems. That coaching program, I've been living and breathing this every single day of my life, full time. It's not been a side hustle for me. So I've learned a lot. So I think that that translates into my coaching program, and it's a lot of it's system and automation, but then a lot of it's how to grow your business, how to grow your brand.
That's cool. Which, yeah, like I said to start this whole thing, seeing you on social media and networking events and speaking at conferences, I don't know that many people doing it better or as often as you these days. So it's definitely practicing what you preach. That's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think that pretty much covers everything for the time we have. Is there anything you'd like to part with or plug, or just how can people find you, get in touch with you? We'll share all the stuff that you mentioned, but any favorite ways?
Sure. I have a few favorite ways. I love to do Instagram. So you can follow me at Vivian Yip _official. And if you want to be a part of my community, I have a Facebook group called the Midterm Rental Movement. And, that's where you can network with other operators. You can post questions, things like that. And in addition, if you'd like to get some free training on the midterm rental strategy and how it works, you can visit my website at vivianyip.com.
Sweet. We will plug all that. Vivian, this was so fun. Pleasure catching up with you and hearing about what you got going on. And yeah, finally getting the chance to ask you all the intrusive questions I wouldn't be able to otherwise. So it's fun.
Well, thank you for having me on.
Appreciate it. Well, best of luck in 26. And again, we'll get everything shared out to the audience. Okay.
Awesome.
All right.